King Charles appeared emotional as he laid his wreath at the Cenotaph during today's Remembrance Sunday service. The ceremony was particularly poignant for the royal family, as it marked the first since the death of Queen Elizabeth, who valued Remembrance Day as one of her most important duties. Charles laid a new poppy wreath incorporating a ribbon of his racing colors, with the design a tribute to the ones used by both his late mother and his grandfather George VI. He was forced to compose himself before laying his wreath, as he led the ceremony for the first time as monarch, prompting some royal watchers to take to Twitter, describing him as emotional. Meanwhile, Big Ben chimed 11 times at 11 a.m. as it returns to service after years of maintenance and repair. Today's service also marks the 40th anniversary of the war in the Falklands, in which 255 British personnel lost their lives. Crowds lined the streets of London, with war veterans including Chelsea pensioners preparing to take part in the march. At around 10:40 a.m., the march past the Cenotaph paused temporarily while Scottish members of the UK's armed forces, the 4th Battalion of Highlanders, played the bagpipes, accompanied by drums. At 10:58 a.m., the military parade was brought to attention as King Charles III arrived. At around 10:40 a.m., the march past the Cenotaph paused temporarily while Scottish members of the UK's armed forces, the 4th Battalion of Highlanders, played the bagpipes, accompanied by drums. At 10:58 a.m., the military parade was brought to attention as King Charles III arrived. Big Ben rang 11 times to mark the beginning of the 2 minutes of silence, and a somber hush fell over the crowd. After the 2 minutes of prayer and reflection had ended, in an emotional tribute to those killed during the wars of the last century, members of the military played the last post. King Charles III then laid his wreath and saluted to the Cenotaph on behalf of the nation. A wreath was then laid on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen Consort. The Prince of Wales then proceeded to lay his wreath, complete with the feathers of the heir apparent. This was the wreath previously laid by his father. The wreath, bearing the colours of the Prince of Wales, also bears a brand new ribbon in Welsh red. The Earl of Wessex and Princess Royal then laid a wreath before one was laid on behalf of the Duke of Kent. The military parade then stood at ease as music played, and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Sir Keir Starmer led the rest of the wreath laying. They were followed by leader of the SNP Ian Blackford and leader of the Lib Dems Ed Davey. The service is being led by the Lord Bishop of London, Dame Sarah Elizabeth Mullally. She has held the role since 2018. As well as the King and Queen Consort, many members of the royal family were in attendance this morning. This includes the Prince and Princess of Wales, Princess Anne and Prince Edward. Numerous former prime ministers including Liz Truss, Boris Johnson, Theresa May, David Cameron and Tony Blair are also there, some of whom are laying wreaths at the Cenotaph. Speaker of the House of Commons Sir Lindsay Hoyle also laid a wreath on behalf of the entire House of Commons. The Queen, who died 9 weeks ago at the age of 96, considered Remembrance Sunday, which commemorates the war dead, one of the most significant and important engagements in the royal calendar. She first laid a wreath at the Cenotaph in 1945, when she was still a princess. The nation's longest reigning monarch, who lived through the Second World War as a teenager and was head of the armed forces, only missed 7 cenotaph services during her reign, including in 2021 due to a back sprain.